something that no athlete has done since Michael.
Today's story is taking the WNBA conversation in a completely unexpected direction. A major deal connected to Caitlin Clark has fans raising serious questions, while Angel Reese's reaction has only made the situation even more interesting. So what exactly happened, and why has this deal suddenly created so much attention? Stay with me until the very end as we break down what went down, examine the reactions, and uncover why everyone is talking about it. Let's get right into it. Do you remember a time when simply mentioning Michael Jordan was enough to make almost any product disappear from store shelves? Now, Caitlin Clark is becoming that kind of basketball phenomenon, shaking up the scene and making some WNBA veterans feel the pressure. And believe me, they're feeling the heat for more than one reason. Caitlin's current contract and growing market value are showing just how powerful her influence has become, echoing the kind of commercial impact once associated with legends like Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson. It costs nothing and takes only a second, but that support can mean everything to us.
Michael Jordan, probably eventually Caitlin Clark, where it's like individual people make an entire country tune into their sport.
1,000%.
Like hockey was never bigger than when Wayne Gretzky was playing it. And it was ridiculous how much it grew the sport.
Tiger Woods.
Caitlin Clark is doing far more than simply promoting products. She is helping reshape basketball culture itself. Some veteran players now feel the spotlight shifting as the excitement around her groundbreaking partnership with a billion-dollar company continues to grow. This isn't just another endorsement deal. It could be one of the most significant basketball business partnerships since a young North Carolina star changed sneaker culture forever with that iconic swoosh. And now, all eyes are on Clark as she continues making waves in the corporate world while dominating attention on the court. But there's still more coming, because we're closing things out with powerful words from Jordan and a surprising basketball statistic that connects him directly to Clark. Are you ready for this? Let's get into it.
Congratulations to her and her family.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is I'm just seeing her last year when they played LSU, but she's...
Let's put this moment into perspective. Caitlin Clark has become the first female athlete since Michael Jordan to launch her own signature basketball collection, made possible through Wilson, the official game ball supplier of the NBA and WNBA. And with an announcement this big, you can almost imagine the reaction from Sheryl Swoopes. What makes it even more interesting is that Swoopes has recently spent plenty of attention discussing Clark and her rising potential, rather than simply looking back at her own legendary career. Now, Caitlin's name is entering the marketing spotlight alongside MJ's, and these are definitely not ordinary basketballs you'd find sitting around a school gym. Each design celebrates major moments from Clark's professional journey, featuring sleek white and gold finishes with detailed laser-etched graphics. One of them, the 3-up ball, highlights her fearless shooting range and ability to launch from deep. Another, the Crowd Maestro, celebrates how Clark can completely change the energy inside an arena, creating an atmosphere that feels almost like a Beyoncé concert. Then there's the Record Breaker, a design that highlights her statistical dominance and competitive impact. Caitlin Clark is proving that becoming a sports superstar isn't just about what happens between the lines. It's about changing the entire culture around the game.
First athlete since Michael Jordan to get their own signature basketball from Wilson. She also becomes the first WNBA player to get her own signature basketball.
Wilson simply could not keep up with the demand. In under 40 minutes, tens of thousands of Caitlin Clark's signature basketballs had already sold out. That's faster than A'ja Wilson can apparently put together a cryptic tweet. This wasn't some quiet product launch. It turned into a full-blown cultural moment, generating the kind of frenzy usually associated with a new iPhone release or a major Travis Scott collaboration. And just when it seemed like Clark's momentum couldn't get any bigger, she came back with another collection. This time, she teamed up with a major grocery chain. And yes, you heard that correctly. Caitlin Clark partnered with a supermarket, yet the product still moved like highly coveted sneakers. That tells you something important about the size of her influence, because her reach is no longer limited to basketball fans. She is increasingly connecting sports, everyday consumers, and mainstream culture in a way the WNBA has rarely seen before.
Clark fans, 2 new limited edition basketballs are now available at select Hy-Vee stores. The designs are part of the Inspire series that Clark is doing in partnership with Wilson Sporting Goods. The tribute ball pays homage to Clark's time with the Iowa women's basketball team, and the Dreamer Ball is designed to encourage athletes to pursue their dreams. Both are available in sizes 3 and 6 at select.
Amanda Lamb, Wilson's global head of brand, made the message pretty clear. Caitlin Clark isn't simply a record-breaking athlete anymore. She has become a genuine cultural force. In other words, she's not being treated like just another player, she's being positioned as the player. Wilson is betting on Clark to become a central figure in the future of its women's basketball business, and this isn't some temporary marketing campaign designed to create a quick burst of attention. It represents a much larger shift in the company's strategy and where it believes women's basketball is heading. Caitlin's image is increasingly becoming one of the defining faces of the sport, signaling a major change in how women's basketball is marketed and consumed. And if this momentum continues, Clark could be helping take the entire sport into a completely different era.
Take into stock the fact that outside of Kevin Durant, aging superstar, LeBron James, 40 years old, and Steph Curry, there's not a single NBA player more popular today than Caitlin Clark.
The impact of Caitlin Clark's success is now being felt across the entire league. A move like this is doing more than creating headlines. It is changing what female athletes can realistically expect from major brands. Clark isn't simply collecting bigger checks, she is challenging the traditional endorsement formula, and that shift is creating tension as some outspoken players watch opportunities move in a different direction. Now let's look at the numbers, because statistics can make a much louder statement than any critic's social media post. Caitlin Clark's WNBA games are averaging 1.18 million viewers, roughly 3 times the league average. She isn't just raising the standard, she's sending it into another stratosphere. This rookie is bringing an audience that is dramatically larger than the league's typical viewership, showing just how unusual her impact has become in a sport that is still learning how to fully capitalize on her star power. And here's the part that should really get people talking. She may not even be close to her ceiling yet.
Caitlin Clark was marketable, but she's been put over some pretty big names. In fact, some worldwide, huge, international names. 2 of them being Messi.
Caitlin Clark is rapidly changing the entire landscape of women's basketball. Fans who barely knew the WNBA existed just a year ago are now rearranging their schedules to watch her games. Why? Because whenever Clark steps onto the court, she creates a level of excitement that is almost impossible to overlook. She isn't simply playing basketball, she is putting on a show, becoming a one-woman ratings engine and a major economic boost for the women's game. She is bringing in viewers who may have never watched a women's basketball game before. To Gen Z, she represents a new generation role model. To older fans, she brings back memories of Larry Bird while carrying that superstar appeal into the social media era. Middle America is embracing the Caitlin Clark craze with the same passion normally reserved for the NFL. Everybody wants a piece of the phenomenon, although a small number of frustrated veterans seem unable to understand how this rising star managed to capture so much attention without even forcing the issue.
On a worldwide marketability list for athletes, to be ahead of both Messi and Ronaldo is quite impressive. Steph Curry is behind her.
While players like Dejon Carrington continue subtweeting Caitlin Clark and questioning the attention surrounding her, Clark is focused on something much bigger, building a billion-dollar brand. She is partnering with Wilson Sporting Goods and joining Michael Jordan in an exclusive club that at this point has only 2 members. People can criticize her rise all they want, but the numbers are telling a very different story. And the crazy part is, this could only be the beginning of Clark's journey. Don't simply take my word for it. Look at what the legends are saying. Mike Breen, one of the most recognizable voices in the NBA, gave Clark an enormous compliment by placing her name in the same conversation as basketball royalty. That isn't just another hot take or casual opinion. It is a statement about where Clark's career could be heading. She is continuing to leave her fingerprints on the game, and the attention surrounding her shows no signs of slowing down.
Rating-wise for the WNBA, what Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry have been doing for the NBA.
This story goes far beyond what Caitlin Clark is doing between the lines. The real impact is happening off the court, where Clark has gone from being basketball's biggest storyline to becoming a full-blown marketing powerhouse. Industry experts now place her as the 4th most marketable athlete in the world, and that ranking goes far beyond the WNBA or even women's basketball. It puts her on a global stage. That achievement is even more impressive when you realize she's being ranked ahead of major sports leagues and internationally recognized stars, including some veterans who still seem frustrated by how quickly her profile has exploded. Think about that for a second. Clark has essentially jumped ahead of entire marketing machines and positioned herself at the center of one of the fastest-growing movements in women's sports. With her constantly in the spotlight, the WNBA is finally getting the kind of mainstream attention many people have been waiting to see. And this time, it feels different. We could be looking at more major sponsorships, broader national television exposure, and a much bigger place for women's basketball in the overall sports conversation than ever before. The future looks enormous, and Caitlin Clark is right at the front of it.
Players being jealous? Yes, that probably exists. Okay. To me, yeah, jealous, sure. I mean, would you be jealous of somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is before you?
Not everyone is thrilled about Caitlin Clark's rapid rise to superstardom. While Clark is smiling for the cameras and helping reshape the business side of basketball, some longtime veterans are clearly feeling the pressure. This isn't simply another promising young player entering the league. Clark has emerged as a superstar with serious influence, and that kind of power can quickly change the atmosphere inside locker rooms. Think about it. A first-year player comes into the league, breaks 62 records, draws more than 1 million viewers per game, and helps fill arenas like she's Taylor Swift walking onto the court in high tops. For the league, that should sound like the ultimate dream scenario. Yet some veteran players have responded with hard fouls, frustrated reactions, and even those carefully worded cryptic social media posts. That contrast between Clark's unbelievable rise and the reactions from certain veterans reveals just how dramatically the WNBA's power dynamics are changing, forcing everyone to adjust to a new era of women's basketball.
Aren't willing or were a bit reluctant to appreciate was the game on this young white sister of ours. She can ball. And oh, by the way, she was a great ambassador for the game. And by the way, she came in there and looked out for everybody else. For 22 years, they couldn't get chartered flights. That sister got there and it was done in 2 weeks. That's who.
The WNBA has long built its identity around toughness, resilience, and a sense of unity. It is a league where players battled for years to push women's basketball forward despite constantly being overlooked. Then, Caitlin Clark arrived and completely changed the equation, bringing massive media attention, major endorsements, and rapidly rising viewership wherever she went. To some players and observers, it may have looked like she suddenly jumped to the front of the line. But what they overlooked is that Clark had already put in the work and earned the attention coming her way. However, the tension surrounding her rise goes far beyond a few angry posts or nasty comments online. You can actually feel that tension when the teams step onto the court. Some players have appeared to challenge Clark with an extra level of physicality, seemingly determined to remind her that the league still demands respect the hard way. Make no mistake, this is more than ordinary competition when emotions start running this high. When players go chest to chest with a star like Clark, there can be a deeper motivation behind that intensity, especially when pride and opportunity are involved. And with salaries, attention, and the league's future all part of the conversation, the stakes feel even bigger.
This growing tension shows just how dramatically Clark has influenced the WNBA and how her arrival has intensified the competitive fire among the players.
And then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court. Instead of playing the game, they got to be drama because they're jealous. Instead of letting their skills speak for themselves, they got to be drama.
So where does all this bitterness actually come from? The answer becomes pretty clear when you look at what Caitlin Clark has received that many longtime veterans never got. Huge endorsement deals, massive celebrity status, and a level of cultural attention that seems brighter than anything the league has experienced before. Naturally, some veteran players may look at that success and ask themselves, where was this kind of support when we were fighting to build the league? That frustration is understandable, but here's the important part. Clark herself didn't create this imbalance. Even Charles Barkley, known for speaking his mind without hesitation, stepped into the conversation and strongly criticized the jealousy directed at Clark, while also calling attention to the negativity surrounding her success.
And I'm a WNBA fan. They cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse.
The uncomfortable reality is that Caitlin Clark is shining a spotlight on weaknesses the WNBA has struggled with for years. Problems like the massive pay gap, inconsistent marketing, and difficulty reaching audiences beyond its traditional fan base have been lingering issues for a long time. Clark didn't create any of these problems, but her success is revealing just how much can change when one player dramatically shifts the conversation. And here's where the numbers become impossible to ignore. Clark's WNBA salary is only $76,500. That's it. Meanwhile, her estimated endorsement income has reportedly surpassed $11 million in a single year, creating a financial gap that is impossible to overlook. But this isn't simply a story about one player making more money off the court than on it. The enormous attention surrounding Clark has placed the league's compensation structure under a microscope, making the system look more outdated with every new headline. Her rise is forcing the WNBA to confront a financial and business reality that it may have preferred to avoid for much longer.
Against that, she got people paid, she got better travel arrangements, she increased the ratings and the revenue, which obviously the WNBA benefited exponentially because now you got a $200 million deal. All of these things being considered, you damn right. It is appropriate that she got Athlete of the Year. She is special.
The entire conversation is starting to shift as the financial reality around the WNBA changes in real time. The idea of a WNBA player earning millions once sounded unrealistic, but now it has become a serious part of the headlines. If this new generation is truly going to raise the standard for everyone in the league, the organization has to embrace that transformation instead of resisting it. In reality, the WNBA has reached a major turning point. Clark's success is pushing the league to change, expand, and adapt faster than ever before. But here's the danger. Veteran players could find themselves left behind if they stay focused on why she received opportunities they never had, instead of recognizing what those opportunities could mean for the entire sport today. The game is changing right in front of them, and fighting that reality won't stop it. Embracing this shift may be one of the most important steps toward keeping women's basketball growing, competitive, and relevant for years to come.
League where you're targeted like that. How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb. It looks like a soap.
A major voice entered the conversation just as the Caitlin Clark phenomenon appeared to be reaching another level, and his involvement instantly changed the basketball discussion. That voice was Michael Jordan, a legend we had not heard from in this ongoing conversation until that moment. His remarks about Clark shifted the narrative in a way few people expected and sent another wave through the basketball world. Jordan's endorsement became a significant moment for women's basketball because it did more than validate Clark's growing reputation. It also pushed the conversation even further, raising bigger questions about her influence, her marketability, and just how far her impact could eventually reach within the game.
WNBA rookie was out here doing what no one thought was possible and outshining the great Michael Jordan's legacy. How would you react? Caitlin Clark is the girl flipping the script. Her rookie numbers are ridiculous. Fans, analysts, and even Michael Jordan's stats.
Let's break down that pivotal moment, because when Michael Jordan, the undisputed basketball icon whose sneaker empire has become a global business powerhouse, publicly endorsed Caitlin Clark, people took notice. This wasn't some casual compliment thrown into the conversation. Jordan's excitement about Clark's influence on the game came across as genuine. He specifically highlighted how incredible it is to see young players using Clark's signature basketball and looking up to what she represents. That goes far beyond simple praise. It feels like a symbolic passing of the torch from basketball's legendary Air Jordan era to a new generation inspired by Clark's deep shooting range, much like countless players once copied Jordan's moves. But Jordan didn't stop there. He delivered an even stronger message, saying Clark deserves recognition from the WNBA for everything she has contributed to the sport. Let that sink in for a second. When Michael Jordan says someone deserves to be valued, that statement carries serious weight. And this is where everyone should be paying attention. The man who helped turn basketball into a worldwide cultural phenomenon understands better than almost anyone what it takes to transform an entire sport. His words, therefore, carry enormous significance and could mark another important chapter in the evolution of women's basketball.
Well enough that in 1984, when Michael Jordan came into the NBA, the ratings in the NBA were not great. Chicago Stadium was,
The fact that one of the most recognizable figures in men's basketball is publicly endorsing a WNBA player completely challenges the outdated belief that women's basketball exists in the shadow of the men's game, making this moment far more important than it might first appear. Michael Jordan didn't simply praise Caitlin Clark as an exceptional WNBA talent. He made it clear that she is exceptional for basketball as a whole. That distinction changes the conversation. And if you weren't already impressed, consider this remarkable statistic. Only 2 rookies in NBA and WNBA history have averaged at least 18 points, 8.5 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 block, and 2 steals per game during the postseason. Those 2 players are Michael Jordan and Caitlin Clark. That's not just an impressive stat. It puts Clark in a truly historic conversation. She isn't simply walking behind Jordan's footsteps. Statistically, she is beginning to stand alongside one of basketball's greatest names. And as Jordan's endorsement continues to echo throughout the basketball world, those numbers make one thing increasingly difficult to ignore. This is bigger than the rise of another WNBA star. Clark's emergence represents the arrival of a transcendent athlete who is changing the way people view endorsements, marketability, and the possibilities available to female athletes. She isn't simply attracting attention to herself, she is helping create a much bigger shift across the entire sports industry.
the lion's share of the attention. The games are now getting put, all of his games are on TV. And he just was a polarizing figure. And Tiger Woods was like that when he went to the PGA as well. He changed the total economics of golf the same way Michael Jordan changed the financial economics.
Women's sports are already being reshaped by Caitlin Clark's growing influence, and her impact goes far beyond simply being the biggest attraction on her team. She is quickly becoming one of the central figures in a major shift happening across sports marketing. Companies aren't merely putting money behind Clark, they are rethinking how they reach audiences and changing their strategies around the attention she generates. And the wild part is, Clark's biggest chapter may still be ahead of her. Unlike many athletes who spend years building recognition before becoming household names, Clark has been doing it in real time, turning attention into a platform and building something much bigger around herself. This doesn't look like a temporary hot streak that disappears when the headlines move on. It looks like a movement gaining serious momentum. The question now isn't simply whether Caitlin Clark can maintain this level of attention, but how much further she can push the league while continuing to perform, attract packed arenas, and secure major endorsement opportunities around the world. At this point, we aren't just watching another basketball star emerge. We are watching a transformation accelerate right in front of us. And perhaps the most exciting part is that Caitlin Clark's story is nowhere near finished. If anything, she may only be getting started.